the brethren. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Maiyegun live. Brethren, welcome to the Temple of Truth tonight. Please, after reading the caption of the broadcasts, read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them to join us. Maiyegun today, Maiyegun is live. And if you have done that already, thank you. So tonight, we are starting with the update after the brutality unleashed on peaceful protesters demanding for the unconditional release of Mazi, Nnamdi Kanu. 2 days ago, his brother, as well as one of his counsels, Ejimako, one of his lawyers, they were arrested even before participating in the protest, which obviously has the hand of the Tifnumbu's presidency in it, when they had to go to a magistrate court far away from where they were arrested in order to secure a detention order which sent them to Kuje. While the rest of Mazi, Nnamdi Kanu's legal team are pretty much working in putting up their defense as the court ruled. Because the last time the court said the no case submission didn't pass. So Nnamdi Kanu should put together his defense. And today, his legal team have given us the list. They've made that public. Those who Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be calling as witnesses to come and stand there in court and prove to everyone how everything that transpired between the Fulani government of the contraption under Bokwari and of course now under Tifnumbu, and every other thing they've told you in the papers, in their media, it will be a great time for them, at least, to come in and say their own side of the story. So the names quite are somehow so deep. The court said Nnamdi Kanu should put up his defense in 7 days. So he's got 7 days to present all his own defense. But Nnamdi Kanu is asking for 90 days, as he is proposing to present at least 130 witnesses to prove not just to Nigeria, but to the world that the sham trial, from treason to terrorism, the bogus trial that the Fulani government of the contraption have been putting up in the last 10 years. So the names, in case if you would mind, right? Wike, the likes of Wike, the devil Umahi, Sanwoolu, Danjuma. Even though Bokwari has been confirmed officially dead, he would have been a witness, especially in that part where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, Bokwari died, right, since 2017. And the man in charge of that contraption, since 2016 rather. So the man in charge of the contraption is Jibril al-Sudani from Sudan, and few other people who have taken up the role. So he would have called Bokwari as a witness as well, in which I will break the witness list. I'll break it down as much as possible, all right? So that you understand this. The criminal government of that contraption, the APC, they are accusing Nnamdi Kanu of being the brain behind the EndSARS protest, as well as the atrocities of the hired political thugs in Lagos that set ablaze the BRT buses and vandalized their properties and then looted shops and all that. So they said, no, it was Nnamdi Kanu that incited them. In fact, he was the one who said they should kill the police, they should burn down the station, they should burn down this and that. So Nnamdi Kanu is calling Sanwoolu as a witness to come and take a stand and tell the court that despite the fact that in their own NSAS panels set up across the country to probe the the killings that took place and those who participated, witnesses were called. So people were subpoenaed to come and give witnesses. Some showed up, some didn't. Sanwoolu was indicted as the brain behind the anarchy that took over the Lagos State. He was indicted by the Lagos State NSAS panel. Boko Haram's government was indicted. Nigerian army were also indicted. Nigerian police were indicted. Individuals that were like police officers, military officers were also indicted. Nobody is convicted. So Nnamdi Kanu wants, since they are accusing him of that, he wants Sanwoolu to take the stand and tell the world where Nnamdi Kanu's name is ever mentioned in any of their government documents pertaining to the investigation of the killings of Nigerians 5 years ago, orchestrated, sponsored by Nnamdi Sanwoolu and executed. Yeah, who gave the order? It was Boko Haram that gave the order. So those who killed Nigerians, they are hanging it on Nnamdi Kanu. So we would like them to take the stand. Another person that he is calling to come and take the stand as a witness in this case, in his defense, is Wike. Wike is one person that commits. See, some of you, especially you, the obedient, who have your personal grouse for because of what Wike did in 2023. You have no idea what Wike did in 2020. A lot of you remember, today everybody is pretty much talking about NSAS because of the Lekki toll gate. But what you have no clue of is that the number of people killed, Nigerians killed, outside Lagos, especially in the eastern part of Nigeria, most of them undocumented, like you have them in Lagos, but they are still documented as much as possible. In Obigbo, where Wike took the the spat between himself and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on social media. Listen to this. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was teaching about the Igbos in Rivers State and why they are in Rivers State and why some of them decided to change their names and all that stuff. Ikweres are Igbos. No, Ikweres are not Igbos. That was the conversation. Where Wike took that so personal and he went to the Igbo-dominated local government area, Obigbo local government area, during this NSAS stuff, right? As in personally, he went here and accused them of being members of IPOB. He invited the military to Rivers State, Wike, and they declared a curfew in Obigbo local government alone. Baba, they were going inside houses, picking people and shooting and killing them, even when they've already ended the NSAS protest and all of that in Lagos. Throughout the October, you see, the killings that took place in Rivers State, right? So, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu wants Wike to come and take a stand to deny the killings in Obigbo, which prompted one of his broadcasts. His broadcast where he called on the people to not sit back and get killed. They are intending to, they are currently executing the kind of ethnic cleansing in this ongoing protest. Defend yourselves. If they come to kill you, kill them. Now, Wike will need to take a stand for that. The Umahi has been called to come and take a stand as well. You know why? Because Umahi and some of the eastern governors, including the former Abia State governor, Ikpeazu, they met with Nnamdi Kanu in Enugu. And throughout their conversation, which is like dialogue of, okay, you know what? It's been granted bail. Now let's talk about the reason for the agitation, what should be done, what can be done, and all of that stuff. So they called a meeting, a sort of a stakeholder meeting in Enugu. After that meeting, right, where Nnamdi Kanu categorically told them that the reason why this agitation, even if I am completely out of the picture, somebody else will pick it up later. Look at Igbo land. Look at our people. We are almost everywhere all over the world. Why? Because of the limited opportunity back home, because of you guys. If you cannot see the politically orchestrated or the politically systemized kind of like marginalization against the Igbos, then prove me wrong. Fight for this, fight for that, give this, give that, protect this, protect that, including protecting the vulnerable people in the rural areas. They came out and said, well, all he demanded for is just pure like asking for good governance. The good governance that will keep the Igbos, right, more in Igbo land, develop the place enough that, right, they won't be ashamed to say they want to have Biafra, kind of, right? And they said, well, yeah, that's something they could do. So where in his demand, did he make any demand of violence, of killings, of anything? He would like Umahi to come and testify that he himself, Umahi, never actually appealed to his own people in Ebonyi when they were being killed by this same Fulani terrorist. Umahi will need to take a stand. Another person that Nnamdi Kanu is calling to take a stand is Buratai the Butcher. See? Buratai the Butcher, which happened to be your chief of army staff, was the guy who gave the order for these murderous soldiers to go to Afarauku and slaughter Nnamdi Kanu and everything that lives, including their family dog. That's how barbaric they were. They said that some youth were throwing stones at them, right? 2 days before that, they suddenly surrounded Nnamdi Kanu's house. He is due to appear in court like a few days from that time. So why can't they just wait then, probably to arrest him in Abuja if he goes to their court? No. They surrounded his house because they've declared Operation Python Dance. Python Dance, Baba. Have you ever seen where pythons dances? Pythons don't dance because you only see pythons when they are crushing the bone of possibly the animal they want to eat. So they sent Operation Python Dance to the eastern Nigeria. They sent Operation Lafi Adole to the northern part of Nigeria. Those who are giving them Operation Safe Corridor. Yeah, clearing the repentant terrorists. But the eastern Nigeria, they sent pythons to be dancing, which means to be eating innocent people. All they need is just that the python needs to wear the goggle that will carry IPOB flag, and everybody becomes IPOB. They were killing people. So they surrounded Nnamdi Kanu's house. They laid siege to his family house. The streets, they're everywhere. What's going on? The next thing, they said the youth, some youth were throwing stones at them. Because they were throwing stones at them, they slaughtered 28 young people in a podu in front of Nnamdi Kanu's house. Then the next thing, they moved straight to his family house. When they found out that the gate was shut, they started shooting like bullets into the building until they finally gained entrance. That was how Nnamdi Kanu had to escape. He was to be killed. So Buratai the Butcher will come to the court and explain to them that those who said he jumped bail, then they will come out and say who gave them the order to come into his house, violate the court ruling that granted him bail, and then attempted to kill him. Finally, Malamu, the Attorney General of Nigeria then, will also need to take a stand. Malamu will take a stand because how did Nnamdi Kanu end up in Nigeria? From Kenya, he was kidnapped. Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, violating all the international kind of like a treaties or laws, right? Then what happened? Malamu took Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. Nigeria Appeal Court said Nigeria would have no case against Nnamdi Kanu. He cannot be tried in any court because of the process of bringing him back to Nigeria. So if the court says they have no evidence of his extradition, or his extraordinary rendition that is kidnapped, the Malamu needs to come and present as what you can say witness to the court. How did he and others got Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria? What process? Because Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers will be asking questions from this guy. So maybe not finally. Another one is Danjuma, that old man. Theophilus Danjuma, the former defense minister of Nigeria during the military, during Obasanjo's time, though, right? Danjuma, right, is one of the guys who actually alerted us when in one address, when his estate, Taraba, that has been under siege for God knows since when, Danjuma cried out and said that he's found out, this is a retired general in Nigerian army, a former coupist. Danjuma raised the alarm and said that the Nigerian army collaborated. They are collaborating with the terrorists. They were moving with the terrorists. They collude. They collude. And he also added, he said, if you are expecting Nigeria government to protect you, you will be dead before such help comes. And he also added that defend yourselves. Everybody defend yourselves. The motivation that Nnamdi Kanu says he couldn't just wish away. He had to do something, which then prompted him to create the ESN, Eastern Security Network. Just a local vigilante or a forest guard. They were just there to ensure that women, men, aged are able to go to their farms, to the market. They could travel within their land in peace, safe. But that became something they politicized and weaponized to what it is today. So he's asking Danjuma to join. There's so many others there because it's actually a very long list. He wants Omoyele Sowore to take a stand as well. Someone who has helped to use his platform to expose a lot of this rot, a lot of these killings, including the sort of like the judicial manipulation to keep him in detention. Omoyele Sowore is also a living witness to this kind of a barbarity. They've charged him for terrorism with Nnamdi Kanu before. And today, right, the case against Sowore is dead. Why they continue to recycle that of Nnamdi Kanu? That's a lot of talk, isn't it? Yeah, I'll take a breather while I send you back to the studio. After the old brouhaha, especially the shutdown that they witnessed surprisingly in Abuja, which has made them to start threading another dangerous path by trying to jail Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer as well as his brother, right? I'll let Sowore take this meet now, okay? I'll be back.
Well, it wasn't only on social media. It happened everywhere around Abuja. We had 6 spots where we had thousands of people converge in march. We were at Utako, we were at Apple, which has the largest crowd.
Turnout, yeah.
We were at Gudu, and we then relocated to the FCT command where we were tear gas, but we were attacked ruthlessly everywhere we went. What these people are telling you is that you cannot be a peaceful person in Nigeria and get away with it.
Yeah.
You can only be violent and get away with it, because if we were terrorists or bandits, as they call them, we could have been walking around Abuja today with ammunition and nobody would come near us. But fortunately or unfortunately, people like me have chosen a non-violent approach to resolving issues. But that doesn't mean that a generation is not coming that will not accept this nonsense.
But I mean, you know that what happens when these protests take place is that they tend to metamorphose into something bigger, and the government knows that beyond the specific case of Nnamdi Kanu, you and other opposition politicians, he's an opposition politician, you often intend to wake up the spirit of the masses who say, they're fed up with bad governance. I mean, your movement, by the way, is called Revolution Now.
Yes, and I won't deny that. In fact, I think the traction around this particular protest was beyond just Nnamdi Kanu. People are fed up with the system, and they cannot deal with the fact that somebody who hasn't committed any